Indian Americans are walking the halls of power in the Obama administration. In the latest appointment, visually impaired Sachin Dev Pavitran has been appointed as the member of an independent US agency devoted for people with disabilities. 34-year-old Pavitran was born in Chennai, grew up in Dubai and has been living in the US for 17 years now. He's been blind most of his life, diagnosed when he was all of 6 years old with retinitis pigmentosus. Well, the board he will be appointed to deals with formulating national standards to comply with around the United States relating to disabled people. Sarah Jacob reports.
Okay, good. Because I'm counting on you. Everybody is. We have to get this right. So there's a lot at stake here. Just remember that I'm trusting you on this, and I'll see you there.
Dude, who was that? Sounded intense. The president.
From Kal Penn to Preet Bharara and now Sachin Dev Pavitran, Indian Americans have been called on to serve in the Obama administration. In one of his first nominations since being elected in 2008, President Obama appointed Raj Shah in charge of administering the $2.6 billion kitty of US foreign aid for humanitarian efforts the world over. As the head of US aid, Shah, the son of Indian immigrants who came to the US on a scholarship, is the highest serving Indian American in any US government so far. Recognizing the immense talent and potential of the 3 million strong community, there were around 30 Indian American members of the first Obama government, spread over state, treasury, defense and commerce.
Indian Americans that live here, pay taxes here, have families here, are part of the mainstream.
Vinay Thummalapalli, Obama's old roommate from his days at Occidental College, became the first Indian American ambassador in US history. He was appointed ambassador to Belize. Vikram Singh, in his capacity as Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for South and Southeast Asia, is the highest-ranking Indian American official in the Pentagon. Obama appointee US Governor Preet Bharara was on the cover of Time magazine this year for cracking down on corruption on Wall Street. Clearly, as Obama prepares for his second term, behind the scenes, there will be Indian Americans helping get the job done. He's only the third Indian American ever to be elected to the US Congress. A first-generation American citizen whose parents hail from Gujarat. On the 6th of November, Dr. Ami Bera became the 2012 Democratic Congressman-elect for California's 7th Congressional District. He was endorsed by former President Bill Clinton. Like I said, only 2 other Indian Americans have been elected to the US Congress before him. Dalip Singh Sond was the first in the 1950s, while Bobby Jindal was a House member from 2005 to 2008 before being elected as the governor of Louisiana. We caught up with the young congressman-elect as he prepares to hit the ground running the moment he takes his oath of office on the 3rd of January. So you're a good child of Indian immigrants to the States. You became a doctor, which must have made your parents very pleased. Why did you choose to give that up and go into politics, and how did your parents react?
Well, every mother's dream, right, to get their son to become a doctor. You know, it's really the same thing that led me into medicine, to, you know, try to serve our country, serve our community, serve my patients. And this really is just the next step, you know, to continue to serve our country and give back to a country that's given us so much opportunity. And then to, you know, as the son of parents that immigrated here from India in the 1950s with very little, yeah, this, you know, when they see me get sworn in on January 3rd, all of us should celebrate that.
Other Indian American politicians like Bobby Jindal, for example, don't really identify themselves as having an Indian background. In fact, they try to distance themselves from that. But not you. Why?
No. You know, why would I want to distance myself from that? You know, the values that, you know, my parents taught me, values of community, values of taking care of family, values of making sure your children did better than you did and building for the next generation. Those are Indian values, but those are American values as well. Those are values that we all strive for, so why would I want to distance myself from that?
You also got a lot of attention because you managed to get the endorsement of President Clinton. How did that happen?
That was wonderful. So, you know, you couldn't ask for a better endorsement than President Clinton. I think he looked at what the important races around the country were, those races where he could make a difference, and came and approached us and said, you know, would you love to have our endorsement? And say, absolutely.
So, Congressman, Indian Americans are among the most wealthy and the most educated of immigrant groups here in the United States, but the very few like you who are entering politics. What is it going to take to get them to move beyond taking that photograph with the politician and putting it up in our drawing room walls and actually getting involved?
You know, I think having one Indian American get elected now shows them what's possible. And, you know, part of my obligation is to make sure others run. You know, again, this is a country that, you know, has given so much to us and given us so much opportunity. And now it's a chance for us to give back to the country.
So there were 6 other Indian Americans who ran, and you were the only one who actually won, so congratulations on that front. But the truth is, the only 2 other real big names are Republicans. There's Bobby Jindal and there's Nikki Haley, while the Democrats really are seen to be more diverse. So one would expect you would see more in the Democratic Party who are making it. Why do you think that hasn't happened?
You know, I think, well, there's only been 3 who have been elected to Congress in history. Yeah. So one over 60 years ago, so, and then Bobby Jindal, and now I'll be the 3rd. I just think it's the natural progression, and, you know, we should celebrate, you know, while I may not agree with the politics necessarily of Governor Haley or Governor Jindal, you know, we should celebrate the fact that, you know, they've achieved such high office, and, you know, that Bobby Jindal is being considered a serious candidate.
That's it on Eye in America for today, but the news continues, and it's back to you in the studio.